Hello, everybody. Welcome to Self-Evidence as Divination. What is divination? Divination is an age-old tool, practice, method that people of the occult, people in witchcraft, people in any unseen practice or mystery school or whatever have used over many thousands of years and centuries to harvest meaning or significance or understanding out of the unseen realm, out of the ether, right? And into the seen, into the knowable, into the tangible. Practices like using a pendulum, practices like scrying in nature onto a water bowl, onto a scrying mirror, an obsidian palette. We've talked about that. But more so in the same sense of like tarot cards, right? Tarot cards are one of the oldest forms of divination to harvest meaning, right? Out of symbolism, right? And what I want to introduce is this concept of self-evidence as divination, your own self-evidence, things that you have walked yourself through as tangible proof that your capacity and that your ability is capable to do at least that again or the next thing. That self-evidence gives you the foundation to stand on that really allows you to say, you know what? I'm gonna go even bigger. I'm gonna call an even bigger shot. You know what I mean? And self-evidence works the same way as, like the Ten of Cups, which is a Ten of Cups in the tarot is like, everything's gonna be great. Go for it. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a bunch of examples of situations where you achieved something in any way, shape, or form, that is evidence that you can use to fuel your next step. And it's like by going back into your self-evidence, it's not only helping you to reverse engineer your own process of how you've navigated things, but it's also giving you like this energetic blueprint to stand on of like, wait a minute, I expanded my capacity way beyond what I thought was possible. And I still went for it. And even if I didn't make the shot that I called, I still have the capacity to call shots that big. And so I'm going to keep calling them because I know that it's safe in my nervous system to do so. You know what I mean? And so it's like once you've already achieved something, that that energetic imprint like lives in your nervous system. It lives in your cells. It lives in your body, your somatic body, your mental body, your emotional body, all of it, and your spiritual body. And so it's like when we're over here worrying about things that that doesn't help anything, right? Like how many of us get stuck in the loops of the mental worry spirals, right? It's like it's so common, but it's like it's interference to try to take our attention away from the fact that we did indeed accomplish plenty of things that we can reference in our life. Even if it's not the exact same thing, we can still harvest from that energetic. For example, let's say that you made $10,000 a month, right? And you're like, all right, like if I can make $10,000 a month, I can make $50,000 a month. That's how I think. Like if I can make $10,000 a month, I'm not thinking, oh, I can't do that ever again. I'm not thinking, oh, that's just a one-off. No. I'm thinking, damn, if I can make this much money, I can make 10 times as much money. Like it's the same energetic. The energetic of being grounded and rooted in the own my own evidence from my own story that I have accomplished X, Y, and Z means that I can 100% go on to accomplish the next set of letters. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's nothing after X, Y, and Z, but you know what I fucking mean. If I accomplished A, B, and C, then I can accomplish D, E, and F, and so on. You know what I mean? Your self-evidence is like an energetic GPS. So it's like if you referenced your own self-evidence of like, damn, I can actually put myself out there on a bunch of podcasts. Like maybe I can start my own podcast or like maybe I can apply to 10 podcasts this month instead of 2 like last month. Like why can't I like see if I can hold even more? If I've done this much, then I can definitely do more. You know what I mean? Like, stop gatekeeping your own potential by worrying about if you can accomplish the same thing again. It's like, it doesn't work that way. It's like, you don't need to redo what you've already mastered. If you have climbed the mountain, then honey, you done good. You done did it. You know what I mean? Like the mountain has been climbed. We don't have to fucking worry about if we have to reclimb that same mountain. For example, if I made last spring, we like tripled our profits and made like $45,000 a month. We did over 40K every month last year, and I was like, whoa. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? And the only thing that I did was like, I can do this. You know what I mean? And I increased my capacity and I just made my life easier. And I made my life more a easier in my nervous system to hold. Like I was like, who's the person who can hold this much money? Like she gets acupuncture every week. She says no to clients that are not aligned. You know, she takes care of her energetics. And so now that I know that I can take care of my internal monologue, my internal stimuli, and make 40 grand a fucking month plus like 42, 43, 47, 41, 42, like again and again and again. I'm like, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about if I can or can't do that again. I know that I can do that. And so I'm going to 10x it. Like that's my vibe. I'm more like, okay, so if I can make 40 something grand a month, I can definitely make 100 grand a month. Like, you know what I mean? It's like not that difficult. So it's like if you the rocket science isn't the strategy. The rocket science is the energetic acrobatic dojo that you have to catch yourself in. Because people who make big moves in life are not worried about if they can make more big moves. They're like, what is the next move to make and give me the courage to take it. That's their line. That's their mantra to the universe. What's my next big move and give me the courage to take it. You want to know where that courage comes from? Their self-evidence. Their self-evidence based off of, the energetic blueprints of what they can reference in their own life. And it's step by step by step by step, right? You continue to build your self-evidence. Before, when I was making $5,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $12,000 a month, I remember there was one month where I made $18,000 and I texted my sister and I was like, if I can make $18,000 a month, I can make 80 grand. Like that was the text that I sent her. And she's also an entrepreneur. So she was like, yeah, someone agreed with me. Someone agreed with my potential. Wow. Oh no, don't let your potential show. Let it show. And if you need someone to fucking come tell it to, I'm the person to come tell it to. I'll be my sister for you. I was literally like, if I can make 18 grand, I can make 80 grand. She was like, yep. And I was like, word. And so this year, we're going to pass 80 grand. We're going to pass 80 grand. We're going to go to 100 grand. That's what we're doing this year. That's how I'm scaling my businesses. Now that I know that it's possible for me to make X, Y, and Z all the way up to past $40,000 a month, well, then let's go. Let's hike it up a notch because I have all this self-evidence that has referenced me to give me this courage to like pull from. You know what I mean? And it's not just money. It's also like peace. You know what I mean? Like the last year I made the most money I've ever made in my life and I had the most fun that I've ever had. Like going to festivals, like dancing my ass off, like beating sweat. I went to Costa Rica 3 or 4 times. I went to Croatia. I fucking went on a free yacht trip on Croatia that came into my life on Lionsgate Portal. And then I went to buy the flight for it, and it was $888 round trip. First of all, steal from to Croatia and back from Boston. I was like, oh my God. And like, yes, but like 888, I was like, let's go. But like the most fun, the most peace that I have ever felt was also when I was making the most money. So I'm like, let's make more money. Let's figure it out. Let's build the capacity based off of the evidence that I've already had. So it's like, well, if I make more money, then maybe I'll be more stressed out. Well, like, no. If I made more money, that means that I had more fun. Making more money sounds more fun. So I'm going to do that just because that's my desire. I don't have to fucking explain it to anyone. And the only person I have to explain it to is to myself. And I don't even have to do that because I have the evidence to resource and reference that says that I'm well on my way. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not really about seeing if you can repeat the same thing. It's seeing if you can go for the next big milestone and scale and shift and refine and see how much more fun or more peaceful or more easeful or more effortless or whatever your thing is can get. Like I'm curious, you know what I mean? I want to figure it out. Even if it isn't easy, no one is saying this is easy. This takes a lot of inner work for you to say, okay, I'm going to sit down with myself. I'm going to trust all of the evidence that I've acquired until now and lean on that and lean on that. You know what? Really lean on that and surrender to the fact that you have done a similar flavor of whatever it is that you're trying to do next. For example, when this was also last season was huge for me. Last season was huge for me. When I was scaling my company last year, I had this massive job in my company. My employees and I were all super swamped, and my body was just so exhausted from working. We're gardeners and landscape designers, so landscaping is a bit challenging in terms of like physical work, and I've had a lot of physical injuries, so it really wears on your body after a while. And I had this massive opportunity, this big job, but I needed to hire out for it. And I was so afraid of asking for help. Oh my God, from like another contractor in my town. And I didn't really care so much about hiring someone, but I was going to have to hire someone and pay like $5,000 in contractor fees to hire someone to do this job with my name on it. You know what I mean? It's still a bigger job. We still made more money, but I also had to cough up more money. So it was like this new energetic, and I'm like, okay, you have to, you have to spend money to make money type of deal. I was like, okay. But the biggest energetic wasn't even so much about the money and being afraid about like having to spend more money. It was more about like honestly asking for help, and I didn't think that it was reasonable for me to receive the help that I desired. And so that was the I had to self-evidence so hard where it was like it's actually reasonable for me to accept help in all of the other times that I've reached out for help in my with my mental health, with hiring employees, like doing all of these other little energetics that have that same, okay, I'm asking for help here. All of those things were beneficial to me. And so I had to trust that and be like, okay, I know asking for help is magnetic for me, even though it is really hard. And so a lot of things that feel really edgy, right? We talk about heavy and edgy all the time. But if we really look at the edginess, right? Asking for help feels edgy to me. And so I know that that's my higher self calling me forwards. And I know that if I just go back and self-evidence and find self-evidence rather about that certain energetic, I know that that's magnetic for me, and I can resource all of the different times that that did contribute in a nourishingly to my life, like in a wonderful way, in a beneficial way that actually gave me something. And like we have to remember that if I were to just worry, like say, okay, you know what, I don't deserve any help. No one should help me, blah blah blah. If I realized this a few years ago. I wasted so much fucking time. I did the math. I can't remember exactly what it was at the time, but I remember telling one of my friends, being like, I'm astonished. I like would worry about my business, like I'd say 90 minutes a day, like worrying, like heart palpitations, worrying. And I did the math. Okay, so let's do it right now. Where's my phone? Let's do it right now together because it was fucked up. Let's say that I so there's 365 days in a year. Let's say that I worried, I'll take some days off. Let's say that I worried 90 minutes a day, 280 hours 280 days a year. 25 hours, 25,200 hours. Let's divide that by my hourly rate just for fun. My hourly rate is $85 regarden. And that's so let's say okay, so that's 256. I could have I that was a full-time job. A full-time fucking job was just about worrying about my business, if it was going to work or not, how I'm going to be supported, blah blah blah. And it's like, why don't you just use your self-evidence and find all of the different times in your life that reaching out for support or calling your shot even if you didn't make it, but it still built the capacity, and that is what we want to focus on. We want to focus on the results and not the end goal. And so when we spend so much fucking time worrying about anything, we are wasting time. But it's not just a waste of time, it's an energetic leak. They want you, they being the machine, they want you to be worrying because that keeps you out of a present state, which is the most magnetic, most expansive, most opportunity, like that state of being truly centered, truly rooted in the present moment. It's unfuckwithable. And so they want to fuck with you. And they want you to worry. And that also drives your consumerism. Oh no, I don't know how my business is going to work. I'm going to hire the 13th coach this month. It's like, whoa, like we're wasting money, we're wasting time, we're wasting our energy. Our energy is our most valuable resource. And so if we can really call our energy back to us via self-evidence, then we get to just read our own energetic blueprint and see how all of the patterns match up in different areas and really be able to root back into this present moment and say, you know what? I'm going to just trust my own pattern with things. If I can make $20,000 a month, then I can make $50,000 a month. If I can have this much fun while making this much money, then I can have even more fun making more money. We don't want to be like, oh no, like how can I have fun still? If I make more money, I'll be so busy. It's like you'll be able to delegate and detoxify, and there will be other shit that you do now that you won't have to do because you're making more money. It's like, duh. It's like we want to use our brains to think about the infinite possibilities of how it can work for us rather than how it cannot work for us, right? We want to be advocates for our dreams, not against our dreams. And so by having all of these energetic leaks, which is not really your fault, you're conditioned by propaganda and media and through our parents and whatever that to like be really worrisome. Like all the time, my mom, she's like, her nervous system is fucked. I'm like, get get into therapy, please, But she's like, whoa. And I'm like, okay, well, at least take a gummy or something. But she's always texting me, like, worried. She's like, it's my job as a parent to worry. I'm like, I couldn't. Thing is, mom, worry does nothing for me other than try to incite worry in myself. I don't function that way anymore. How I'm interested in functioning is faith. Point blank, period. I'm interested in functioning from a place of faith that it is actually all working out for me, and I can reference how it has worked out for me numerous times in the past and leading from that place, being like, if I did this, I can probably do that. Let's see. You know what I mean? And also, like, let's all just reference and reflect right now that every single fucking thing that you have gone through. You made it through. You've navigated it. You're sitting here watching this video. Pat yourself on the back. You've nailed it up until now. Like, why are we thinking that we're so incapable when we've literally navigated every single thing that life has brought us up until this point? All the super traumatic shit, all of the challenging things, all of the obstacles that were unexpected. You bodied them, dude. Like, be proud, have some pride. Let's take a moment and really just be like, whoa, deep breath in, like, oh my God, it is a living, breathing miracle that I am here right now. Thank you to whoever you want to thank. Thank you to my ancestors. Thank you to the spirit of the land. Thank you to the miracle breath that I am breathing right now. Thank you to my body for carrying me through all of these challenges. Thank you to all of the people who extended me a helping hand. Thank you to my inspiration. Thank you to my intuition. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gratitude brings you back into this present moment where we're not worrying. Worrying is an energetic leak, and you could be fucking using that energy to direct towards the path that you're trying to walk. Like, let's just do a little alchemy here and say, oh no, how am I? I'm worrying, I'm worrying, I'm worrying. I don't know how I'm going to be able to expand. I don't know how I'm going to be able to hold more. I don't know how I'm going to be able to stay close to my values while I still ask for bigger shit to come into my life. It's like we could instead stop saying what if and stop worrying about the what ifs and start worrying about like the how. You know what I mean? It's like stop worrying about why or when or what if and start worrying about like, okay, how can I navigate this? How you navigate this is self-evidence. How you navigate this is being in your present moment. How you navigate this is referencing all of the different ways of like how you've helped yourself in the past and how you can help yourself now. All of the ways that you have held yourself through various situations that I'm sure were very challenging and survived it. You know what I mean? And let's see here. Like, we literally do not need to think about whether or not we can do something. It's just knowing how. The how is believing in the capacity that you have already built in order to achieve the next big thing. Like, if you've healed yourself from depression, you can heal yourself from anxiety. If you've healed yourself from anxiety, you can heal yourself from self-doubt. If you have healed yourself from all of your physical body issues, then you can heal someone else. You know what I mean? You only have to be 10% ahead for someone to help them 100%. If you have spoke confidently in front of a group of your friends and just been like boom, 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 you know what I mean? Then you can speak on stage. You can speak on a huge podcast. Why not? Absolutely, you can. If you have healed yourself from a heartbreak that fucking took the wind out of your sails, you know what I mean? Like a boom, like where you were like, like, how am I gonna survive? And then you walked yourself through that. You can help others heal from heartbreak. If that's your thing, fucking run with it. It's like stop thinking about the whether or not you can do it and realize that you have already done it. And so the only question is how. How have I done it and how can I help someone else? These are the questions I always am asking myself. When I'm presented with a challenge, a new challenge in my life, when I'm up leveling or, ascending to a different version of myself, like that is new and improved and just like way more expanded and often probably not what I recognize, like always is surprising me. I'm always asking myself, who can help me or how can I help myself? Because I know from experience that either someone's going to be able to help me or I'm going to be able to help myself. So I'm not like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to surmount this obstacle. No, I don't even waste one fucking thought on that energetic. I go, okay, who can help me or how can I help myself? And I just fucking go for it. I just say, where's the how? You know what I mean? I stop worrying about the whether or not. I stop worrying about the what if, and I just go, how? Who can help me or how can I help myself? And just moving through anything with that mindset. You're going to, like, it doesn't stop. The work is constant, especially if you're on this path of spiritual entrepreneurship, which to me, entrepreneurship is just like a massive spiritual game. I saw someone say the other day, it was like, they were like, life is just a BDSM game and I don't know the safe word. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like literally entrepreneurship. It's like this, like BDSM is like kind of like the dom sub, um, like where you get tied up and like whipped and like other stuff. Like it's kind of sexy or whatever. Not into it, but I do like the humor. I think it's pretty hilarious. If you're into it, good for you. But it's like you have a safe word in BDSM. And so like if something starts to really get close to your boundary, you like can say a safe word and like what is the funny one that everyone says like the something sings at midnight or something. It's like I don't know, it's like a joke. And entrepreneurship is essentially this kink game where you're consistently exposed to your edges and you don't know the safe word. The safe word for me is who can help me or how can I help myself? A lot of times, how I can help myself is going to be referencing all the times that I've walked myself through similar situations and can do it and say, you know what? Okay, let's do it. Like, for example, when I just invested $25,000 in one day into this business, and put it on four different credit cards and then $11,000 on my debit card. Next time a huge investment comes up before me, I'm going to be like, sure, let's try it out. I survived. I'm not dead. Paid it off. Let's go. Like, it's not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it so much. Was I worrying about it for 2 seconds there? Yeah. Did my nervous system like freak out a little bit? Did I tend to my human physical vessel that was experiencing a massive energetic upgrade? and then still focused on the how instead? Yes, because we can take all of that energy and put it in the direction that is actually more nutritive to our journey and the story that we are creating. It's all about moving from this anxiety to execution. Stop worrying about whether you can do something and start actually fucking doing it. So, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about is like, you do not have to feel ready. And I've said this so many times in all of my calls. It's like, spirit does not call the qualified, spirit qualifies the called. If you're a God person, God does not call the qualified, God qualifies the called. It's not about proving yourself. It's about referencing and leveraging the shit that you've already done to say, you know what? I am good enough. You know what? No one is going to hand you the golden ticket and say, hey, you're ready. You should go for it. You should go for it. It's like you do that for yourself. You don't have to pull a fucking another tarot card about it. You don't have to use the pendulum, which I do all of these things, by the way, but you do not have to. The only thing you need to do is to reference back to a certain energetic that you have done with full confidence and made it through, or even done with not full confidence and still made it through. You still made it through. We're going to focus on the success part of it. Okay? Because success is a frequency. Success is any time you felt successful. My first memory of success was when I was a kid. And I was like a total dork as a kid, and I still am a dork, whatever. But I was obsessed with like history when I was like a really young kid. It was because I was reliving a bunch of past lives, but my parents didn't understand that. And now I get it because I was having all of these visions and like whatever. And I was obsessed with like old-fashioned dress up, and like I went to where I live in Massachusetts where I grew up, and that's where like the pilgrims came. Anyone who's from America, people who are not from America, rewatching this, the Pilgrims were like the colonizers who like escaped England and came to the New World and basically like fucked it up. But they were the first settlers in 1620 that came to the United States, and I had fucking like ancestors on that boat. Not that many of them made it alive. So it was this massive journey. And so, and then they kind of, everything kind of just got really spun out of hand by then. And then, you know, everything with the Native Americans, but this isn't a class on that. Um, the fact of the matter is, I had like all of these past life visions from that time of like wearing the petticoat and like the little bonnet and like the whole thing. And so I wanted to be like part of the reenactment group who would like be like at different historical sites around like where I lived and give like tours and like talk and like share and like make corn husk dolls and like be all dressed up and like just sit there like I don't know. And I wanted to be part of this group, and so my mom was like, "Okay, like figure it out." You know what I mean? And so I had to like go. I was like 8 years old or 7 years old, and I got the paper, and I remember filling it out like on the bed, my bedroom floor, and then like had like $5 from like my allowance from like cleaning my house or something. And I like walked up into the office all by myself and like signed up for this thing. And I came out of the office and I was like I just did something for myself. You know what I mean? I still think about that. I still think about that. And I know, whatever, we're not going to get political here about all of the fucking awfulness of colonization. I am aware how harmful all of it was. But as a 7-year-old, I thought it was pretty fucking cool. Okay? So I was so proud of myself for doing that. You know what I mean? I still think about that all the time. Just that energetic, that feeling of being like, damn, I accomplished something. No one helped me. Like I did it all by myself, and like I'm really proud of that. You know what I mean? Like I think about that all the time. Anytime I'm trying to up level, I go back to that first message or that first kind of it was a message from like my higher self or spirit encouraging me, being like, yeah, you can do hard things. You can do things that are brand new. You can do things that feel scary at first. And so what I want to challenge you to do is to reference the first memory that you've had, that you felt that success in your body, where you're like, oh my God, like, did I really just pull this off? Like, cool. Same thing when I made $18,000. I was like, it's the same energetic of me putting in those papers to be in fucking the historical militia thing. Same exact energetic of me making 18 grand and being like to my sister, if I can make 18 grand in a month, I can make 80 grand. She was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like that is the same energetic. And so finding what it is for you that is, oops, that is your very first memory of success and really finding every single different detail and how it felt in your body somatically so you can reference that and resource it and go back to it over and over and over again and trust yourself. Everyone has at least one. And if you only have fucking one, use it over and over and over to trust yourself because you do not get gifted more unless you go for it. There is no such thing as increased capacity for more unless you increase your capacity, right? We talked about that. And what I also want to reflect on here is that clarity comes from action, not thought. We've also talked about that a lot, but for anyone watching this replay on YouTube or whatever, that is something very important to know. That's clarity comes from action, not thought, is from my coach Marie Forleo. She's a fucking badass. Um, badass. I think it's $145,000 for an hour of her time. Yep. Yeah. So think about how much she's had to self-evidence to get to where she is. Okay? All of us have this resource, this divination tool built into our psyche. Use it. Think about something that, or like multiple. Think about as many things as you want. Think about all of the different times that you felt successful in your life and do not let your cynical brain talk you out of it. Just take it for what it is, okay? Because it was indeed that. And like write down every single energetic that's inside, like where it is in your body, like just really get there, get in there and talk to yourself from that place of like, okay, like if I can sign one client, I can sign 10 clients. Or if that's not where you're trying to go, if I can sign one client, I can sign two clients. You know, if I can make 50 cents, I can make a dollar, right? If I can make $18,000, I can make 80 grand. If I can make $45,000 in a month, I can make 100 grand or more in a month. I had a dream the other day. This I am not have not even thought about this one time. My subconscious showed me a vision of me making $100,000 in a day. Does my brain want to tell me that's impossible? Yep. And once I make $100,000 in a month, that's where I'm gonna go. Once I make $100,000 plus in a month, I'm gonna be like, if I can make $100,000 a month, I can make $100,000 in a day. I'll know that's possible. If I can make $100,000 in 30 days, I can make $100,000 in a month, in a day. And I'll tell you this, last season, we made $100,000 in 70 days. We made $112,000 between May and June. So if I can make $112,000 in 2 months, I can definitely make $100,000 in 1 month. What's that for you? What's that energetic for you? How does that feel in your body when I'm talking about this? You're thinking to yourself, okay, well, if I made this much, I can make that much. If I can have this much fun, I can have that much fun. If I can have, like, what is your thing? Because all of that desire is so sacred. And they want you to throw it out and they want you to worry about if it can come to fruition or not. I don't want you to waste 1 second or one morsel of your energy on worrying about it. I want you to take all of that energy and funneling either to who can help me or how can I help myself? And starting to stop thinking about it and start being about it, right? And so actively use this as much as you possibly can in relationships and whatever. And like, for example, in relationships, like all the time, like I would speak my truth. I had a big issue with speaking my truth, which you're probably like, really? Yes. I had a big issue with speaking my truth. And every time I would speak my truth in a relationship, or have the opportunity to speak my truth in a relationship, being invited into being like, "Ooh, I don't think I was fully truthful there, like about my needs or what I wanted or my desires or whatever, my boundaries, etc." And like I had to go back to all of the different times in my life where I like didn't die after speaking my truth. And like that's what gave me the fuel to do so. And so, anyways, personal growth, same thing. Like business, relationships, inner work, all of it is connected. All of it can be referenced and resourced by reflecting on your own self-evidence as a form of your own internal divination tool. Thank you very much.